feels strange to say Happy Pesach, Chag Sameach, but that's how I want to begin. But actually, we're recording this a day before Purim, and Purim has never felt so vivid, with a sense of Amalek and evil at work in the world, and my thoughts are completely wrapped up in what's happening in the Ukraine, as I'm sure yours are as well. So translating that into Pesach has been a bit of a jump of thought, but the contrast between slavery and freedom, right and wrong, supporting life and behaving in ways that lead people to their deaths is so stark. And that's what I want to talk about briefly. And I want to talk about it in terms of just one Hebrew word, which is the word yada, to know. Or in the deeper biblical sense, to know, to care as well. To know and be concerned and to have a care. And here we have an opposition between Pharaoh in the narrative and God. Pharaoh, we're told, does not know Joseph. Vayakom par melech chadash al Mitzrayim asher lo yada et Yosef. A new king arose over Egypt who did not know Joseph. The Talmud asks, is it deliberate? Does he wipe the knowledge out of his mind because he doesn't want to have to recognize the rights and the dignity of Joseph's descendants who are now living in Egypt? Or did he genuinely not know? But I read it as, I don't know, I don't care, I don't want to know. And when that's the case, and you feel you have no accountability because after all you are the God, the ultimate power, you can do anything, which is what Pharaoh does. So that Pharaoh will then say, kill the Hebrew babies, throw them in the Nile. I don't care how many people die here. And later on, when Moses comes to challenge him for the first time in the royal palace and says, God has called us and says, let my people go so that they may serve me, Pharaoh says, Lo yadati et Adonai. I don't know this God. I don't recognize this God. I recognize no authority over me. I have no accountability at all, and therefore go away and I'll make it worse. And these figures exist in our world. In contrast, we're told, and I find it just very, very, very moving, that just before the episode of the burning bush, God hears the cry of the people, sees their afflictions, Vayeda, and God knew. Now normally to know is a transitive verb, one knows something, but here this knowing, what's the object? And God cared, God was concerned. So we have a sense here of a world in which there is ultimate concern for the well-being of everybody, of the downtrodden in particular. And later on, when God is speaking to the children of Israel, Ki yadati et mach'ovav, I know their pain, I know their sorrow. And to me, it's around this nexus that Pesach's all about. The difference between enslaving and giving freedom. The difference between saying, I don't care what happens to people, they can die, and saying, I really care, I know, I'm with people in their sorrow. That's why Pesach is the root of Judaism, the festival in which we travel not just from slavery to freedom, but from injustice and cruelty to a world of justice and compassion, from a world in which there's no accountability to a world in which we are ultimately accountable, every one of us, for the well-being of everybody else. Chag Sameach, good Seders, and a happy Pesach.